city of Glasgow, 'twas high on the Kells. If you lived near the river, you'd work in the yards. The first thing I saw when I opened my eyes were the muckle great cranes that reached up to the sky, where we built the great ships of iron and steel. The Lizzies, the Mary, we built them right here. We built the great ships that pride o'er the sea, and knew there is nae work for me. And who would believe that we built the great ships? At the end of the 40s, apprentice was I to the cream o' the welders by the name o' Mackay. He have 12 lugs and 1 gobs of listen nae lip, and I'll show you young lads how we build the great ships. And we built the great ships of iron and steel. The Lizzies, the Mary, we built them right here. We built the great ships that pride o'er the sea, and knew there is nae work for me. And who would believe that we built the great ships? At the end of the 60s, the whole thing just died. We had matches and workings, my God, how we tried. There was no need for highly skilled craftsmen like me. They built ships for them all in Japan and Korea. But we built the great ships of iron and steel. The Lizzies, the Mary, we built them right here. We built the great ships that pride o'er the sea, and knew there is nae work for me. And who would believe that we built the great ships? There's scarcely a ship and there's blessed few men, as the river runs silent through Silicone Glen. For an old clap-toot welder you'll no get much thanks. Now there's fish in the river and chips on its banks. But we built the great ships of iron and steel. The Lizzies, the Mary, we built them right here. We built the great ships that pride o'er the sea, and knew there is nae work for me. And who would believe that we built the great ships of iron and steel? The Lizzies, the Mary, we built them right here. We built the great ships that pride o'er the sea, and knew there is nae work for me. And who would believe that we built the great ships?
One of the many ships my dad worked on was called the Empress of Britain. She was built at Fairfield Shipbuilding Company, Govan, for Canadian Pacific. She was launched by Her Majesty the Queen on the 22nd of June 1955. This was the first launch my dad took me to. I was 8-year-old. He told me how he built it. I think this is what he told me. My dad, he built a ship one day. In fact, it took 2 weeks. Well, there were things he had to fix and make a few wee tweaks. If you ever heard a ship get built, the noise and all that done, and wondered just who made that sound, my dad, yes, that was him. He told me how he done it, the things he had to do. So hold on to your bonnet and listen while I tell you. When my dad built any ship, he started with the keel, then riveted around the bilges heavy sheets of steel. He said the next thing that he done was put the boilers in. Then he welded bulkheads, some were thick and some were thin. I asked, why fit the bulkheads? He answered, why d'you think? If the sides get broke and the sea get in, the ship it wouldn't sink. Before the deck was welded down, he put the engines in, and then the big propeller shafts, I think he said were twin. He then joined the propellers to the shafts that he poked through. I don't know if he screwed them on or just used super glue. I think he used an elastic band or maybe a kind of gear, but I know he joined a rudder on so the ship would steer. Now that's not all he had to do to complete the work below. He had to fit 100 pipes so the water and oil could flow. And what about electric wires? He had to run these too. He welded trays to take the cables as the bulkheads they snaked through. Now just to do a final check to see he'd done things right, he scooshed some water from a hose, make sure she was watertight. Now that's what he done the first week. I think he done just fine. Well, he did get a bit of overtime, 3 nights and a Sunday double time. Above the decks were other things that my dad had to do. So listen while I tell you all what he finished in week 2. He built another 3 decks and fitted out each one with cabins, sunbed, swimming pool, and still he wasn't done. Along the port and starboard sides he hung, what do you think? That's right, 6 big lifeboats in case the ship would sink. I don't think they needed them. In fact, a damned insult. This was no just any ship, but one my dad had built. He fitted things that pull the ropes, that tie ships to the quay. Yes, a capstan ties the boat up when the captain goes for tea. He fitted rails around the sides. Now that might sound quite daft, but if he hadn't done that, then people might fall off. He joined big chains to anchors and hung them o'er the side. They pull them up and down at night when sailing up the Clyde. He built the funnel and the mast and fitted out the bridge with instruments and dials and things. It even had a fridge. Now that she was near complete, to finish her just right, my dad he took his brush and tin and painted her all white. So let's take stock and stop to think. You probably want to know, how does a captain steer the ship? How does he make her go? Now this is where the trick comes in, but my dad, he was clever. He was the only man in Govan who could join the bits together. He took some wires and pipes and things and joined them to each other, but he never told me how he done it, never even told my mother. Now why he never told me? Do you think my dad was daft? You don't learn all the secrets unless you're in the craft. Now that I have told you how my dad built a ship, the Queen, she came to launch it and send it down the slip. What was she called, this great ship? She named her the Empress of Britain. Apparently there were 3 of them, or so I've seen it written. From Fairfield Yard in 55 on the 22nd of June, all the streets in Govan, red, white and blue festoon. But that's another story, a memory of mine's. Perhaps I'll write another poem and tell you at some time. I dedicate this to my dad, who sadly passed away. I'm missing him already, each and every day.